Hi, I'm Dr. Gaby Cora, and welcome to my show, Dr. Gaby's Take Make Life Interesting. I love how you talk about making a choice to be happy, and knowing that you've worked with so many people from around the world. What would be the things that you usually see block people in allowing themselves to make these choices?
90+% of the time it's a worthiness issue. They just have subliminal, subconscious programming that they're not worthy of success. And organized religion is a big guilty party here a lot of the time. A lot of times it's just the subliminal programming they got from pop culture, TV shows and movies and books. Government, of course, needs us to be needy, so they foster that entitlement mentality. So there's a lot of very voracious, insidious forces programming us that money is bad and rich people are evil and it's noble to be poor, spiritual to be poor. And so on this conscious level, they're striving for success, but at the subconscious level, they're sabotaging their success as soon as it gets near a breakthrough.
And even on your life, during your lifetime, you struggled with that yourself. Did you take that quantum leap on your own, or did you count on mentors? Did it just take time and different mentors? How did you find your own way to self-worth?
Here's what I found is the breakthrough, the tipping point, if you will, is the magic of 51%. It was when everything changed for me was when I had 51% positive thoughts versus 49% negative thoughts. Because I started out, when it all started, in my case, everything broke down when I was 30. Health was shot, business was seized by the IRS, auctioned off. I'm in debt, I'm selling my furniture, sleeping on the floor, eating macaroni and cheese every day. Everything, relationships, everything's broke down. So at that point, I have two choices. One, blow my brains out, or two, change, right? So I didn't have the guts to blow my brains out. So fortunately, I changed.
It's nice to have you here today.
Yeah, it's good to be here today. Because I would have missed a lot these last 22 years, a lot. But I was so riddled with negative programming, so riddled with limiting beliefs, that the default position, we all have a default setting. So, the default setting in my family for generations was negative. So if you said, let's go to the movies, I'd say, we'll never find a parking space. If you said, what a beautiful day, I'd say, well, it was raining like crazy yesterday. I bet it's going to rain again today. It was just my default setting. So at 30, when everything broke down, I was working 2 hours a day on self-development. Because I had nothing else to do. I had no job to go to. So I'd be out looking for jobs, and then I'd have nothing else to do but think about my miserable life of quiet desperation. So I spent 2 hours a day reading Charles Fillmore and Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind and stuff like that. And so I started to have some positive thoughts sometimes, which are immediately smothered by negative thoughts, because of the overwhelming percentage of negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. But by working on that every day, and I felt it took 2 years to make myself over. And at the end of 2 years, I thought, I actually like myself. I actually like my life. I wasn't rich yet, I wasn't successful, but I liked myself and I liked the direction I was going. And then and it's funny, if you read Deepak Chopra, and he talks about the 50 billion cells in our body, and they're always dying and regenerating, and he would say it would take 2 years for every single cell in your body to completely regenerate. So that was fascinating to me. That took 2 years, and then I felt like I had made myself completely over. Then I felt like in a year I made myself all over again. Then I felt like I made myself over in 6 months. And now I'm always amazed at how ignorant I was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, right? Because I'm at such an accelerated personal development right now. And I think it's the big breaking point, though, was the tipping point was when the positive thought got to 51%, because then the default setting switched from the negative side to the positive side. And then when somebody said, "It's a beautiful day," I'd say, "Yeah, isn't it gorgeous?" And that mindset shift changed everything.
Thank you for watching my show. I hope you enjoyed Randy Gage's interview as much as I did. Let's think about 3 things that can help you make life even more interesting. First of all, what's the balance between your positive and negative thoughts? Are you aware of this? Are you aware of the kinds of thoughts that you're having throughout the course of the day? Awareness is one of the first things to be able to then figure out what is the right balance for you. The second point here is, do you see yourself being very critical of other people, or are other people constantly telling you that you're constantly saying what they've done wrong without, giving them any truth or without letting them breathe? That's a second way in which you can also see if you're being more negative of everyone around, which is somewhat reflective of the way that you feel about yourself anyways. The third point is, do you find the negative in sometimes saying, for example, starting off with a positive but then shifting into a negative? For example, you say, "Yes, but." Or someone compliments you, for example, and says, "You look great today." You could say something like, "Oh yes, but my hair didn't come out the way I wanted," or "My work was not completed the way that I intended to be complete," or "Everything went wrong." That is another way in which you can try to create some way of figuring out if you're balancing more into the positive or the negative. The second point is, are your beliefs launching or limiting your success? How would you look into this? Well, the first point would be around automatic thoughts as well. Let's say that you come up with a great idea, or someone comes to you with a great idea, and your first instinct is to kill the idea. Your first instinct is to say, "Well, yes, but." Your first instinct is to try to come up with all the reasons why that cannot be done. The second point to think there is, when you start thinking more of why that idea is not a good idea rather than why it would be a good idea, that's another barometer for you that you should keep in consideration. And the third point would be, if you feel that other people are not even asking you about some of their great ideas because they kind of anticipate that you're going to turn them down, then try to look around and see, do people come to you for advice? Do people come to you to see what you would think about some things? Or do they usually come to you knowing that you're going to kill their idea? Okay, so that's the second point to think about. The third one is to look into your relationships. Do you feel your relationships are enhancing, or are they really boycotting your success? And the first point here is, look around yourself and see if you're surrounding yourself by positive people that really enhance your success, or if you're really being surrounded by people who are constantly criticizing you, who don't like what you do or what you stand for. And then take a look at that as well, because if the balance is more in the negative, that won't enhance your success to begin with. The second point is, do you feel that your immediate family members are helping you with your ideas, with manifesting your ideas, or are they really killing them even before you get them started? The third point is, stop asking around if you feel that when you ask, people are killing your ideas. Now, what I usually find in my practice, both as a doctor or as a coach, is that when people start asking around, particularly when they ask around to other people who tend to have a negative view about them or their ideas, in a way they're using the wrong approval process. They're not trusting themselves. So go with your heart, figure out that if you really have an amazing idea, if you really want to follow your heart, you are the one to determine what it is that you want to do, when it is that you want to do, and how to get it going. So food for thought. Think about these points. The awareness, as we mentioned, improving, looking around, and finding more positive than negative in your life. Make life interesting. Thanks for watching my show, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy.